Greetings and welcome to my channel. This is Sorcerer Tal. You can also find me on Facebook in the Sorcerers Guild. Today we are going to be starting a new series on the Sorcerer's Shadow. This is the first in a series of publications that will be coming out through the Sorcerers Guild, which can be found on Facebook. And in this first book, we have the first chapter is called The Skills of Spellcraft. It will be going over the basic concepts of how and why a spell works. After that, there is a chapter that is entitled Creating a Successful Spell, and that chapter deals on the actual mechanics of how to create a spell. There is a short essay before that called Creating a Charge with an Energy Vortex, which explains how to put energy into the spell. And then we have Creating a Successful Spell, which, as I said, is the mechanics on how to create a successful spell. And it goes through the explanation of how to do that without stifling the sorcerer's personal creativity, which is very important, because when you learn to cast magic, as it will say in the book, I cannot teach you to cast a spell. I can simply teach you how to learn. But as with painting, I cannot teach you to make a masterpiece, but I can teach you how to make the correct brush strokes that will help get you there. So, after we discuss the basic mechanics behind how to create a successful spell, we discuss potential power saps, and that is the name of the next chapter. And by potential power saps, that means things that can happen that will draw your magic away from you, things that can go wrong to prevent the spell from working. And we discuss how to avoid those in that chapter. After that, we have a chapter on divination. That is actually a fairly short chapter because we will be going into it in more detail in future volumes, but it goes over the basics on how divination works and how to begin creating your own system for divination, or how to better understand the system you use currently. We also have a group essay on creating a magic sigil that was written by myself, Amber Herman, Mitch Moon, Lucy Marianne, and Astra Angel Wolf Angelo PhD. I'm sorry, my eyes are a little blinded by the light. Okay, so that is a essay on that, and it goes over all the details on how to create a successful magical sigil. And then we discuss the .com sigil, which is useful for when you are trying to protect yourself over the internet, as well as how to use a locking sigil and a personal sigil. The personal sigil is a sigil that is used to prevent other people from manipulating the intent of your sigil when you put it out in a group setting to get a shared charge. We also discussed, as I said, a locking sigil and the personal sigil, which is a sigil designed to state who you are. It is a sigil designed to be focused on your will itself, and that is put on tools. It is used as a symbol to begin your reputation amongst spirits when you begin spirit summoning. From there, we have a chapter entitled Creating a Link to Your Spellwork. That is a chapter on discussing how to create links to your targets when you are casting on other people for curse work or benign work or any type of work where you're casting on another person. Then we have a basic discussion on love spells, which does go into a little bit of the detail on how to use glamour magic, but it also discusses the reasons why and why not to use a love spell. From there, we have a short essay on karma entitled The Guild's Thoughts on Karma, and that is a group essay as well. It is written by myself, Mitch Moon, Damian Ferguson, Michael O'Sullivan, Melissa Winters, Amber Herman, Jacob Apostata, and Don Black. We also have a chapter on lucid dreaming and astral projection, which was a collaboration by Amber Herman and Garland Headley. And an essay on entitled Surviving Death, which discusses the time that I died as a child and the lessons that I learned from that. From there, we also have a chapter on the S1 project and this discusses how to use the S1 sigil for astral projection during this life, and also, if you want, how to access it in between lifetimes if you wish to avoid the structured dogma within the afterlives of the current religions. It also discusses how to access the Horde and explains who exactly the Horde is and what they have to do with the Sorcerers Guild and sorcery in general. From there is a chapter titled On Gods, Ghosts, and Spirits. This chapter discusses what gods are, what ghosts are, and other types of spirits, and goes into a little detail on an experiment that I performed in high school to discover how far the law of perceptions, belief imparts reality, actually goes. From there, we have an essay on creating spirits. This essay discusses servitors, egregores, tulpas, and golems, explaining what the difference of each one between each one is, and how to successfully create any of the following. From there, we then have an essay which is our beginning into necromancy, which will be covered in later versions of the book. But in that chapter, we discuss awakening the cause spirit within a skull, and I go into some detail on how I created Boris here. He is a cause spirit designed from a bull skull, designed to create abundance and stability within the area that he is placed, or the areas that I send his corporeal form to create that energy pattern. He actually eats up negative energy and then replaces it with positive energy, as I said, of abundance and stability. And that's Boris. There is a chapter on him, how I created him, and how you too can create a cause spirit for whatever intent you desire. Okay, from there, we also have, and there are some pictures of Boris in the book. From there, we go to a essay on the importance of reputation, and that is a collaborative guild essay discussing why it is important to establish a good reputation amongst spirits before and while you are working with them. And that is a collaborative essay by Mitch Moon, myself, Ted Joy, S. Ray Knight, Garland Headley, and Raven Nagisa. From there, we then have an essay on a spirit summoning spell. It goes over a basic, simple method for summoning spirits that is accessible to the beginning practitioner. From there, we then go on to a essay on shifting. The essay is called Shifting Perspectives, and it is on how you can shape and reform your own aura into not only that of animals, but also how to create a tulpa and then possess the tulpa so that you can change aspects of your own personality. Now, to be clear, I'm not talking about actual physical shape shifting here. I am talking about shaping your aura, or potentially even your soul, into the form of that animal for spellcraft purposes. And then from there, we have a chapter which will discuss guild gathering rituals, which is a ritual that can be performed when members of the guild meet, and in that we will be utilizing the personal sigil to create a guild space, a shared space where we can discuss guild activities. And that can be done in person or potentially via the internet. And then we have a chapter on what the vocabulary is so far. And that's not real long yet, but that will be updated with every future volume. And then we also have a few pages on the meaning of the Elder Futhark runes for use in magic and in divination, and a little bit on the certification program, which of course is through the Sorcerers Guild. Okay, so that will be it for this video. Thank you once again for joining us, and I hope that you join us with the new series, where we, as I said, the new series will be on this book here. I guess I haven't quite covered that yet. Okay, so for each chapter of this book, I will be doing a discussion of the chapter, and I will also post in the comments of the YouTube video the full chapter itself so that you can read along in each chapter. If you would like to purchase a book, they are available on Amazon, $9.99 for a hard copy or $2.99 for an ebook. Any of the online profit from the sales of these books will go to furthering Sorcerers Guild activities, which may include buying stuff for the videos, but it will also include making future books, helping to create guild gathering rituals in the future where we can gather in large numbers. And as I said, it's $9.99 on Amazon. It's the Sorcerer's Shadow. Should be able to find it just from that, but I will provide a link at the bottom of this video as well for both the hardcover and the paperback. And I will also be doing physical classes on these books in the Utah area. I will hopefully be able to film those as well, so those will be available on YouTube hopefully. But as I said, I will be doing one video for each chapter of this book and discussing what exactly I mean with each chapter, and discussing the collaborative videos as the collaborative essays as well. Okay, so thank you once again for joining us. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please take the opportunity to do so now, and don't forget to join us for the future series that we are going to be embarking on this week, and of course the Sorcery Self-Defense series will be continuing as well. Okay, so thank you for joining us. Until next time, bright blessings and an interesting fate. This has been Sorcerer Tal.